Testing 1, 2, 3. We are live on the internet. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1
2. Times are hard, you're afraid to pay the fee, so you find yourself somebody who can do the job for free.
I think this is the right channel. You are
When you need a bit
now
of
entering
love, cause your man is out of town,
DJ
that's the
Cincy
time you
or
get me
haphazardly
running,
put up
and you know
live stream.
I'll be
Electricity is out in
around.
the outer space.
I'm a fool to do your dirty work.
Hour.
Oh yeah. I don't wanna do your dirty work no more. I'm a fool to do your dirty work. Oh yeah. Light the candle, put the lock upon the door. You have sent the maid home early like 1,000 times before. Like the castle in its corner in a medieval game, I foresee terrible trouble, and I stay here just the same. I'm a fool to do your dirty work. Oh yeah. I don't wanna do your dirty work no more. I'm a fool to do your dirty work. Oh yeah. I'm a fool to do your dirty work. Oh yeah. I don't wanna do your dirty work no more. I'm a fool to do your dirty work. Oh yeah. I don't wanna do your dirty work no more. I'm a fool to do your dirty work. Oh yeah. I don't wanna do.
Can y'all hear me? Testing 1 2 3. I think I just had myself muted. That is where I'm at today. So, testing 1 2 3. Can you hear me out there in the world? I am using OBS, and for some strange reason, like 3 of the channels look the same, and I think I muted the right one, but let's get to what we're here to do. Well, thank you for your patience. Like I said, my location's electricity went out, which I'm not going to let that stop me, but I thought it was kind of ironic that I was there to play this tape for you all in my perfectly set up studio with my perfect lighting and my perfect sound and my perfect temperature. And I go to sit down and nothing works. Nothing works. And I need power. So I had to think quick. I had to pack up all my stuff. I had to run to another location, which just happens to be a room where all of my dad's stuff is right now. I'm sitting next to his rack. I'm sitting next to his Meyer HD1 speakers. And as soon as I sat down, because this is where the Ethernet is, I went, oh, okay. Hi, Dad. Maybe he doesn't want me to play it, but I think he does. Who cares? So we're going to play it. So let's get to it. Okay, great. I can hear you in my left speaker. Oh no, in my mono. Look, please don't judge my audio on where I came from. That was not my thing. That was my dad's thing. I would follow him around the trade shows and make sure he had his picture taken, make sure he got all the cards for his email list, and make sure he was fed. That's what I have fun doing. My dad was the audio guy. My dad was the audio engineer. So if things don't sound right, or if I haven't quite figured it out yet, please forgive me. I did not learn how to do this from him, so now I kind of wish I had, since I'm doing it, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, good. You can hear me. That's all that matters. I know. Look, if I waited until I could figure out how to do all this stuff professionally, y'all would never hear any of this stuff. So we're just throwing everything up there and seeing what happens. So let's get to it. So the tape, the cassette tape. First of all, I would love to give a virtual hug, a high five, a good old-fashioned cry to the article that went up in Expanding Dan. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Jake Maluli. I think I'm saying your last name right. Thank you so much for working with me, being open to releasing the tape onto the world. I had been stuck, and I reached out to him, and I said, I would really love to share this with people. I just don't know how. And he said, we can do it. I can help you. And he did. He wrote a beautiful piece that captured the heart of it. Because for me, it wasn't just about the tape anymore. It was about this journey in archiving my dad's stuff, the journey of finding the tape during a pandemic, the journey of dealing with my own personal aftermath of the pandemic fallout. And then finally getting to a place where I was like, I still have this tape and I still want to share it with everybody. And so thank you so much to the Expanding Dan for running that piece. It was beautiful. It captured the heart of the moment, and I appreciate you. We appreciate you so much. So now that I got that out of the way, like I'm winning an Oscar, like I feel like we just finished a marathon, y'all. I think I need this group session more than you do. I needed a little group therapy because it's been a wild few years. And so, let's talk about the tape. Let me get the audio up for the tape. I am a one-man band right here. One girl band? I don't know. One-man band. I am a one-man band. And I had a good 30 minutes to try to organize this. But, you know, stuff happens and the show must go on. So, second arrangement files. Okay, here we go. Oh my God, there's a dog. Oh no, I have dogs. Okay, well, I'll mute the mic when we start to do this. Oh my God, there's a dog. Oh no, there's a dog. Y'all, this was not my quiet studio space I planned on. Hold on. So I have a dog barking. I'm going to mute my mic. Let me know if for some reason I've hit the wrong button and you can still hear the dog barking. but I am playing the tape. Oh my God, it doesn't want to play, of course. Okay, can't hear the dog. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, here we go. All right, so the tape. I'm going to mute myself once it starts playing, but I'll be in the chat. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Here it goes. This is the part where we put the tape in. Tape is.
Sunday. Ah, you look so unconcerned while you watch that beat-down burn. Were you blind that day? Bloody Mayday, when the wild ones did their looting and your boys came in their shooting. Were you blind that day? You safe in your disguise. Who lives behind those eyes? I could swear there's no one there. Were you crying out for the ones who took the fall when the hangman took them all? Were you blind that day? I saw the fireworks on the day your slaves were free, without one man fit to lead. Were you blind that day?
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me out there? Oh, Mr. Burgles is speaking in Chinese now. Little does he know. 我好一的朋友不好意思 I'm gonna get you, Mr. Burgles. Burgles wants to win. Like in Deacon Blues, I want a name when I win. Because, wait, no, I got that backwards. They got a name for the winners in the world. Wait, I want a name when I lose. Mr. Burgles wants to win. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, that was super chaotic. So much for our easy listening, like excited to hear the tape stream. We got trolled, and that's hilarious. So thank you for my brand new mods for helping me delete all those comments, because that was chaotic. And then yes, Chad Sutton, thank you. Chad Sutton, thank you, Canacon23. They got a name for the Burgles in the world. And then I kicked over my camera. Oh my god. So the tape hiss is still going. And what I loved at the end of that is you could hear somebody talking. Did you all catch that? Now, somebody asked earlier where I would be posting this to. The tape hiss is still going. So we're still playing the tape right now to make sure there's nothing else on it. Because I was shocked to hear the instrumental version of Second Arrangement and then this demo that came up later. So someone asked where I was going to post this. And the exclusive and the Expanding Dan was great because Jake could actually upload the WAV file of this transfer and put it into the newsletter. So in theory, our friends... Oh, somebody else is playing. That was the end of the tape. Oh, Kings by Camp By iMusic just wants to play Steely Dan now. Sorry, my nose is running. I am in full chaos mode, but I just want to give a shout out to my Aunt Melinda. My Aunt Melinda is here, and my cousin Wendy, and my mom, Conrad Reeder. So this is a family affair, and my Aunt Mindy was my father's sister, and Wendy is my dad's niece. Sorry, there won't be a test. And Conrad Reeder is the one that we can thank for taking this cassette tape and putting it in her desk drawer where it would live for decades until my dad died, and then we moved stuff around, and I held on to it for safekeeping. So thank you, Mom. We're having fun today because of you. Thanks for keeping it together. Because while my dad had all the accolades, Mom was running the show behind the scenes to make sure we were all fed, housed, watched while he was in the studio for a year making one record. So thanks, Mom. Now, someone asked where I was going to post this YouTube. I'm not looking at the chat right now. But so I was going to post this YouTube where I was going to post the tape. So, Kari and Kari. Kari's here. Jamie Wendy is my cousin. Is Kari here? Kari is my other cousin who went with me to United Recording, which is slowly closed down as of 3 months ago to help transfer the DAT tape, which we're going to get to in a minute. Is Kari here? Paging Kari, my cousin Kari. So, somebody asked where I would be posting this tape. YouTube? Like, I literally don't know where else to post it to share it with you all. I know it's just a cassette tape, but we did transfer it to a digital WAV file. And according to what I know, YouTube compresses stuff. So I thought, well, how do I get people the file that I have? And the best way we could figure that out was to embed it in Jake's article. So you could hear it. You could hear the shitty cassette tape in the least shitty way possible, because it's still a cassette. and there's tape hiss. I could feel my dad cringing with the tape hiss because my dad literally got into the recording business to make sure there were no clicks and pops on records and there was no hiss, crackle, snaps on anything, and that people could enjoy music how the musicians meant for them to hear it. So it's kind of ironic and kind of hilarious that we are enjoying this magical 40-year-old cassette tape and all of its tape hiss glory. So, Art House is my cousin Corey. Shout out to my family. So, I think I was going to... Oh, the article transcodes to MP3. I don't know. I give up, y'all. It is a cassette. I did the best I could. I really wanted to deliver it in a fun way. And I thought the way we did it was super awesome and gave the tape some justice in its long life of living in my mom's desk. And then we got to do this today, which is super fun. But yeah, let me read the chat. So yeah, Burgles leaves. Oh my God, did we get rid of Burgles? Thank you, chat. Thank you, Canicon23. I appreciate y'all. Okay, they were uploaded as MP3 files in the article, however. Oh God, I don't know. My dad hated MP3s. So actually, while I have you all here, what do you think about lossless audio? What do you think about Apple lossless? Because I really wish my dad was here so I could ask him about it. He would be super pumped with the idea that you could hear what you were supposed to hear over the internet. One second. But let's listen to the last bit of the tape again. And what do they say at the end? Is somebody saying something at the end? Is it Walter? My mom thinks that she heard Walter. Let's listen to the last few minutes. Okay, yeah. I think I heard the word playback. Could have been my dad. Do you think that was my dad? I don't know. I love outtakes. I love demos because you can hear people give direction behind the scenes, and it's really fun, right? Thanks for the comments on the shirt. I thought this would be a good moment to put on my Double Wonderful Second Arrangement t-shirt that I bought because I couldn't stop laughing that the cassette tape had made it on the t-shirt. Y'all, we gotta have a little fun because life is ridiculous and the past few years have been ridiculous. So this shirt made me cackle and I had to have it. The cassette tape. So Substack did something. It's fine. I think it still sounded great then. So this is an audiophile question. This is like where my dad would have been perfect to have a conversation with us about what is going on. And now that I've taken a deep dive into sound therapy, I really do appreciate his quest to try, or he actually did, deliver us audio how he thought we should hear it, which was like we were listening to the musicians, which seems really simple, but it's actually not. It seems really simple. In theory, that you would be able to hear music, how it was played. But no, you have microphones, recording devices, wires, cables, all these processes in between the musician playing it and you consuming it that can get messed up. So I don't even know what we're listening to anymore. Like, what was it really supposed to sound like? It's hard to tell, right? I guess that's musicians, though. Electronic music maybe it has less channels to get messed up in along the way. Yep, Double Wonderful. Double Wonderful makes these awesome t-shirts. He might not like me saying that online because he flies under the radar, but this is the splicing tape era. So if anybody has any questions about what was going on behind the scenes, C Reader in the chat is our first-hand account of the Gaucho eras. She was around from 1979 on. So anybody that has any questions for C Reader in the chat, she would be a good person to ask. Like, what do we want to know? What was going on? How was Studio 54? No, don't oops, Chad. It's hilarious. I love Double Wonderful. Everybody, he does drops once a month. He makes these awesome shirts. I have a Deacon Blues shirt that I love. The second arrangement one is amazing. 1978. She was around from 1978 on. So let's play the DAT tape. I can't believe the cassette tape playing was so chaotic. In theory, I wanted us to have like a moment, you know, where we were back in the 70s and we were just like there with our headphones on. Like, is anybody listening to the live stream with headphones on in the chat? Do we have our headphones on? Because that was another thing that drove my dad wild, is that he would spend hours and hours and hours, and these guys would spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to do one song, and then people just listen to it out of their computer speakers. It's so like, but I mean, whatever, that's what happens. Okay, so I know we were back in the 70s, all right. It felt like that. It feels like this tape. I don't know. Should I sage my room? I mean, the electricity was off in my first space. We had that spammer that we had to like battle. I had to get mods and we had to battle that spammer out. We couldn't even have like a nice conversation about it. I think I'm going to stage the room after we're done with this live stream. So now let's play the DAT. Airplay. Okay, so Boomer Tech Guy. So I wondered how, so DAT did not exist in 79, but I thought it was, okay, Jez. Okay, so now let's move on to the DAT. Okay, so we've got the cassette tape. We have the cassette tape transferred. It's a work tape. So it sounds weirdly beautiful and clear and crisp for a 40-year-old tape because it had been in a desk drawer for so long that wasn't exposed to elements. It was in a temperature controlled environment, wasn't messed with, wasn't played. But it was a work tape. So it sounds like, yeah, there was definitely parts where Donald's vocal was out. And I asked Gary Katz, I was playing it for him, and he said, maybe Donald's vocal was muted, and then he unmuted it. But Donald's vocal is out in other places too. So someone suggested that he liked to do piecemeal vocals. Like it was a work tape. So Dad put on that tape whatever in theory they were working on for the next day. I don't really know how that works. That's a them question. But so then, in the past decade, I've been archiving my dad's stuff and moving it around the country. It's moved from Florida to Los Angeles to Havasu to Burbank. Now back to my mom's house. Like, it's moved a lot. So I've looked at it a lot. And we had friends from Penn State, our friend John Pachance, come out and help us start archiving some of this stuff because I literally couldn't plug in all these hard drives my dad had. He had a lot of media. He still has a lot of media. But my dad was also an archivist. So sometimes he would have 3 or 4 or 5 copies of the same thing. He always had 3 copies of something, he said, because, you could put in a CD drive disc and it would fail, or as they've learned now, and what I've learned transferring all this stuff, that DAT tapes are actually horrible and they really degrade fast. And as we just heard, the cassette tape versus the DAT tape, like the DAT tape, I feel like sounds way more muffled, like it sounds a little muddier. And we actually denoised the DAT tape. So, backing up, we've got the cassette. We transferred that. There's a couple awesome things on it. And then when I was moving this past March, I was talking with a family friend, Kyle, my mom's friend, my mom and dad's friend, Kyle. Hi, Kyle. I think he was in the chat earlier. I was talking with him, and we're talking about the second arrangement tape and what I should do with it. And I'm sorry, I'm looking at the chat. Okay. I listen to Gaucho as sound therapy. Yes, I love that comment. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing in the chat. So I'm talking to my family friend Kyle, and I say, I've seen this DAT floating around that says the second arrangement, and he kept talking about my dad playing him something that had horns. I don't know about this discussion as much as you all do. There's some discussion about horns. I think that was on the remake because these versions have been confirmed that it was the original, so I don't know where the horns exist. Maybe when they tried to redo it, they put the horns in. I'm not 100%. So, he said that Dad played him something that had horns on it and was beautiful, and I said, oh my gosh, I need to transfer that DAT. For a long time, I just assumed, never assume. I just assumed that the DAT was a copy of the tape because my dad would have possibly known the importance of the cassette tape and transferred it to DAT. That was something my dad would totally do. That's a lot of what we were finding in the archives that he left. But alas, never assume. So it's March 2023. I'm moving all my stuff. It's a really traumatic move. I'm going through a divorce. I'm just like, oh my God, that DAT. It could be something else. What if it's something else? So I was encouraged to go transfer it. I went back to Bill Smith at United Recording. Rest in peace, United Recording. Bill Smith is still with us. Los Angeles is really not kind to their vintage studios. They like to close studios down and turn them into unaffordable condos. So I don't know what's going to happen to United Recording, but it's a really historical place. Frank Sinatra recorded there. Like, you can feel it in the bones of the building. Like, it just smells like old Hollywood. It's a great studio. no longer with us. So, March 2023, I find the DAT, dig it out in the tubs of DATs that my dad had. And it's spelled wrong. It's not my dad's handwriting. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to transfer this because what if it's not the cassette tape? So I go and I transfer it and it's not the cassette tape. And at this point, I'm laughing. At this point, I'm laughing hysterically. Because, of course, it's not the cassette tape. It's another second arrangement. Now what? So thankfully, I just got to release that with Jake and the Expanding Dan because I was just beside myself. The DAT, though, DATs are horrible, apparently. They are not good to keep any audio on because that DAT tape sounded horrible compared to the cassette tape. It was so noisy. The cassette tape we just transferred. Bill Smith put it in a new casing because the casing was falling apart, and we just transferred it. The tape hiss, all that is there. We didn't mess with it. We didn't take the noise out. We didn't do anything. So it's just a straight transfer. The DAT was so bad that we actually had to denoise that because it was almost unlistenable. But when you denoise it, I think it sounds pretty good, and it's the whole song. It doesn't sound as rich as the cassette, weirdly, but it's the whole song. You have all of Donald's vocals. It just sounds a little shittier. Oh my God, they all sound bad. But they are better than what we have. So I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sorry I released your shitty cassette to the world, but we really wanted to hear it, and it sounds way better than the shitty things on the internet. So that's what I was really excited about. I was like, you know what? It's nothing brand new. It already exists on the internet, so let's listen to at least a better quality of what we've got. Because, y'all, I tried to listen to something on the internet, some second arrangement thing, and it sounded so bad. It was, like, hard to hear. I had to just stop. But this is not that bad. It's not Steely Dan quality. This is not a finished product. I repeat, this is not a finished product. This is not a Roger Nichols delivery. This is a Sipsy Nichols found in her dad's stuff and decided to share it with y'all and put it on the internet. So now, that was a lot of talk, but I'm happy I get to share all this with y'all on YouTube Live. So now I'll play a 1-2 comparison. I'll play the DAT transfer as we did straight in, and then I will play you our denoised version, which is way more listenable and is what is in the Expanding Dan. So let's play the DAT transfer.
I must explain it to you somehow. Right now, I'll just move back one square. Here comes that noise again, another scrambled message from my last best friend. Something I can dance to, a song with tears in it. Old friends abandon me, it's just the routine politics of jealousy. Someday we'll remember that one red rose and the one last goodbye. One last goodbye. Then I run to the second arrangement. It's only the natural thing. LaRue steps out with no regrets. A sparkling conscience, a new address. When I run to the second arrangement, the home of a mutual friend. Now's the time to redefine the first arrangement again.
Okay, we're back. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Not. So here is the denoised version. I keep turning off my mic and on my mic, so can you hear me? Testing, testing. Okay, so I am going to now play the... Okay, so I'm going to be playing the DAT that's denoised now, that's in the article, that's embedded in the article.
that one red rose and the one last goodbye. One last goodbye. Then I run to the second arrangement. It's only the natural thing. LaRue steps out with no regrets. A sparkling conscience, a new address. When I run to the second arrangement, the home of a mutual friend. Now's the time to redefine the first arrangement again.
Okay. Testing, testing. Am I back? Am I back? Okay, so I just laughed out loud, Jake. I know. My wife loves Steely Dan, and even she was like, "Can you please stop listening to that song?" Well, now it's like a whodunit. It's like Clue. This is like a murder mystery, y'all. This is like our Steely Dan Holy Grail murder mystery. Because it was supposed to be the single. They loved it enough to do it first, almost finish it, delete it on accident, and then redo it only to can it. So it's like, yeah, we want to hear it. Like, what was that? You can't spend $80,000 on a song. The second time, I don't even think that was the first time, one of the times, and just be like, no, we don't like it. Right. Yes. It's so good to hear it in the entirety, and the cassette does sound better. Oh my God, why? Is it because dads are that horrible? Or, okay, I know what I can play, y'all. Actually, this will be great. This is a good segue. In 2021, I did an interview that I actually sent to Jake with Elliot Shiner. I did an interview because, we keep slowly gathering things. So when a documentary about my dad eventually does get made, we'll get interviews with really special, important people in his life. And Elliot Shiner is one of them. He worked with my dad a lot. Like, they worked together, which is rare for engineers. But we got an interview with him in 2021, right before I was going to transfer the tape. And I asked him, what do you think this is? And he answered me, and I have it on video. First time was $80K. My wife hates Steely Dan, I know. Oh my God, Chad. Okay, so if y'all want, give me 1 sec. I can actually play you the part in the Elliot Shiner interview where he talks about the second arrangement. Because I have a feeling what this DAT might be is a copy of the 2-track rough mix he had. That's just my guess. I have no idea, But since it's not the cassette tape, which would have been a work tape from, in theory, like the night before, my mom seems to remember it coming home the night before the big deletion. The only other thing I can guess is that this would be a copy of the rough mix that, if it already exists on the internet, maybe that got leaked somehow, not by us. Okay, so let me play that video. We can hear Elliot say it himself. You can hear it from his mouth. Okay, let me shut some windows. Let me see. Our family friend Kyle is trying to get on the stream, but I don't see him. Let me just play this video for y'all while we are all here. Okay. I am going to do show it. Arrangement, right? I found this in Dad's archive. It says second arrangement on it.
Yeah.
What does that look like? Does it look like what we think it is?
It's the rough mix of this day that we tracked, the original second arrangement. I had the actual rough mix. We mixed 2-track, made copies for everybody from the 2-track, and I took the 2-track just to keep it. And so we're in the studio, and Roger comes in. I think he said, "I'm getting married." And 2 days ago, he never said that. Yeah, she's coming here in a little while. Really? And everybody was laughing. Roger's getting married. What kind of shit is this? So, we're still recording the track, and your mom walks in. And, I mean, everybody, sort of stared at her. And I don't remember that we actually called her Conrad. I think she was introduced as Connie, and I think that changed a bit later. But everybody just fell in love with her. Everybody. And, he had his arm around it. Yep, we're getting married. We're going to do it on February 29th. So they were waiting for the 29th to come along, and they were going to go down to the Justice County, and I think that changed a bit later. But everybody just fell in love with her. Everybody. And, he had his arm around it. Yep, we're getting married. We're going to do it on February 29th. So they were waiting for the 29th to come along, and they were going to go down to the Justice of the Peace, I guess, and get married. Yeah, he was so in love with your mom. It was like, and he was a changed person.
Testing back here. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2, 3. I don't know. I should have tested this more, I guess, before I just decided to jump on the live stream, but this is where we're at. Welcome to the internet. I will be your guide. My mom's friend Kyle is on the internet right now, but I don't know where he's at. Kyle, I don't know where you're at. I don't know where you are. There's the link. Now for show and tell. Can you hear me now, Ashley? Can you hear me now? Let's see what Elliot has to say next. I think I asked him again about the second arrangement. Let me mute my mic.
Once Roger met your mom, Wendell was finished. You know, he wasn't devoting that time. I think most of his time was devoted to your mom.
Good. Well, that's good timing for Wendell then. Good thing he got that done.
And the rest of us were all like totally single and thinking, this isn't fair. And, you know, we're happy for Roger, but, you know, why did he get all the luck? And then I said, I said something to Gary, you know, but he also was accused of the Manson murders, so he had his bad side too.
Okay, that's hilarious. Okay, so the second arrangement, so this tape then looks like the work tape from...
The original mix, probably.
This is
not
like...
the mix, the final mix, just the tracks.
The deleted one.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't tell without listening.
I'm not going to play it until I'm transferring it, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys, so you went home with the work tape. So can you tell us about that for a second arrangement debacle? That's like...
Well, I just took the work tape for a second arrangement back with me. And...
Both you and Dad had it. So you were in the studio recording the original second arrangement.
Yes.
Okay, with Dad.
Yes.
Okay.
And it came out great, you know, and it came out so great, and they didn't have to use Wendell because everything sounded perfect. So they decided to work on that song. So Roger went back in with them because he had been working on Wendell for so long. He went back in the studio and finished all of second arrangement when mostly everything were basic tracks with some vocals here and there. And the second at Studio 54 came in and erased it. And we tried to cut it once more, it didn't happen. And what was the question again?
So yeah, just second arrangement. What happened, and then what were you there for the deletion? Like, what was like? Were you there that day? Were you there when they told Donald and Walter were that.
No, I wasn't there, but Roger was the one that had to explain it to Gary, and Gary was the one that told Donald and Walter, and he said, "I have good news and bad news," and Donald said, "Tell us the good news. You guys can leave right now." And they looked at him and said, "And what's the bad news? We don't have second arrangement anymore." And they just turned around and walked out.
Mom said Dad came home like a ghost. That he was pale white, like because he came home in the middle of the day, which never happened. And she said that like that she was like, "What happened?"
Yeah, it was bad.
But you were there for the recording of the original.
Yes.
And then so, just say that for me. I was there for the recording of the original second arrangement.
Yeah, I actually did tracking for the original second arrangement. And
What did Dad do then? He was
still working on Rendell at that point. Just finishing, I think.
Testing. So I don't know where that phantom echo is coming from because I thought I had my mic channel muted while Elliot was playing. So I have a phantom echo. I'm not really sure where it's coming from. I think I needed an engineer before I did this. There's a lot of moving parts, y'all. I am not a professional streamer, but I love to talk to y'all about this stuff because mainly it's just been me rummaging through boxes, talking to myself about this stuff and my parents' friends when I see them. So this is actually a fun experiment. We can just use things we find in my dad's archives and talk about it. And we can figure out what it is. That sounds fun to me. I don't know about y'all, Chad. Yes, I think it was the first song they worked on for Gaucho, right? Yeah. I think it was the first one they worked on and like thought it was the single and got it completed like Elliot said, and yeah. So that was what I had for y'all. Let's see. I don't know where the phantom audio is coming from. I'm so sorry if there was an echo on Elliot's voice because I was going to leave this live stream up. I apologize for my shitty audio. Okay, Jess, thanks. I don't know where the echo was coming from. I had a phantom echo, but I love that I get to play y'all that Elliot interview because he was there. And that story is hilarious. That Gary said to Donald and Walter, "Look, I got good news and I got bad news." Well, tell us the good news. The good news is you can go home. We don't have to work today. What's the bad news? The bad news is they have deleted the second arrangement. Oh my God. I don't even think we can ask Donald about this. Like, I don't think that we could call Donald up and ask him about this because I literally think he probably has PTSD from this whole situation. Has he talked about this? I think he's had a few interviews like in the past couple years, but I don't know if anybody's asked him. So there we have it. We had a second arrangement YouTube party. We got trolled. We got chat bombed. I had to frantically get mods to help me combat Mr. Bungle. No, Mr. Bungle's a band. We like Mr. Bungle. Mr. Burgle, he played it live in 2011. I did hear that. So, really, there's so much with Steely Dan. There really is so much. And that's why Jake, after he did the audio history, started expanding Dan, according to what he told me. And just the hour or two we talked, like, it is like peeling an onion. Like, you peel one layer and you go, oh, there's all this other stuff too. There's all this other stuff. And they worked with so many people. Like, there's so many stories. It really is an interesting moment in time. And I don't think there's any other band that could be like that ever again. You know what, though? You know what could be fun for our next live stream? I have a couple things I could do before I just start doing my sound bowls and my sound healing on my YouTube live. I have fun talking about this stuff with you all because this is my life too. According to, life and my mom, Gaucho took so long to record. My parents met, dated, got married, and had me, and my dad brought me into the studio. That's how long it took to make Gaucho. And my dad was only in New York because of working with Steely Dan. So I am a product of the Steely Dan. Sorry, I was going to get crass, but that'd be weird because my mom is on stream. I won't get weird with my mom on stream. But I love it. I really miss my dad. And I love that I'm able to celebrate all this stuff with you because he did leave us gems that we've kept lovingly for years. And I'm sick of gatekeeping. I never meant to gatekeep on purpose. I just didn't have a channel like this YouTube live or just like I'm over it, like let's just share it era. For a while we were holding on to all these videos and stuff because we thought it would be great to post never before seen video in a documentary about my dad. But after thinking about it and asking my mom and my sister, the Steely Dan stuff is a big part of my dad's story, but it's not the only part of my dad's story. So I think it's fine that you get to see all these home videos. It's okay. They'll be in the documentary, but whoever's going to watch the documentary about my dad will still watch it, even though they've already seen home videos. And there's more to talk about than just this Steely Dan. And as you know, movies these days, it's like cut. So it's only going to be snippets of this stuff anyway. And I've just been posting them in their full length online because if I were to edit and like think about it, it would take way too long. So I'm just posting the whole things because that was like my life. That was my sister's life. That was my mom's life. My dad always had a camera. As she said earlier in the chat, it was easier to film people than have conversations. I don't know. I think my dad could communicate better with machines than people sometimes, but that's a whole other YouTube discussion. And that's what tapes would be back in the day. You would have a Christmas, you would have a birthday, and you would have dad in the studio because you used the whole tape. Most everyone's a product of Steely Dan. Oh, my sister went there. I wasn't going to go there, but my sister went there. Ashley Nichols in the chat. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. Oh, Gonzo today. Okay, so I don't see clicks. Guess, hear others, auto add guess. Testing. Kyle, I'm so sorry. I'm not sure I can see how to get you on. I don't see you, and I'm not sure how to click you in. We might have to try this another time and plan it better. Oh my God, everyone's a product of Steely Dan. My sister said it. I didn't say it. Kyle, I'm so sorry. I don't see where to click to let you in. Gonzo Submissions, editor of Gonzo Today, also our family friend Kyle Kyleman, who did the amazing 1980s radio interview with Walter Becker and my dad, the Maui interview I posted. He remembers talking to my dad about this, so we might have to have him on next time where I could plan it a little better and figure out the video a little better before the stream so that we can get him on. I was planning to have guests, but I think with all the chaos that we've already endured, I won't subject us to more chaos of trying to figure out how to video in guests. But in theory, we can have guests come on next time. We can have a Steely Dan hour. We can chat. We can talk about it. And we can discuss theories, ideas, and maybe I can find a piece of paper about it. It's like a treasure hunt. I do feel like this is like national treasure. And I also love Nicolas Cage. So you know what I'm going to do next time? You know what I'm going to do next time? Is everybody here? Can everybody hear me? I have something fun I want to share with you. This is what we're going to do next time. This album cover. Do you see this? Do you see this? Oh, there's a light. Steely Dan, Katie lied. See the back of this album cover? You have Walter, Jeff Porcaro, rest in peace. Michael McDonald, the smoothest voice in yacht rock. My dad, wearing a Kanga hat that you can actually see on our WendellSamplePack.com website. I found some awesome, never before seen slides of my dad with Walter and Donald from this era. And he's got his hat on. WendellSamplePack.com. That's something else fun we just launched. Gary Katz. Oh, Kyle's trying to call. Maybe I can't answer because I'm streaming. I can't answer because I'm streaming. So next time, see this? See this picture? Denny Diaz. I want someone to confirm that they see this picture of Denny Diaz with Donald Fagen right there. Do you all know why Denny Diaz is holding a helium tank and a sombrero? Do you know why he's holding a helium tank and wearing a sombrero? I'll wait. RJ, but do you know why? Yes, RJ. They had just finished making an ad for a Mexican beer commercial. Sorry, I didn't mean to sniffle on the mic. They had just made an ad for a Mexican beer commercial. Yes, RJ, you got it right. You get the prize of being able to listen to that jingle next time. I have the Schlitz. I think it was called Schlitz. But that doesn't sound very Mexican. I don't know. Sorry. The beer jingle that they did, I have it. We can play it. I have Jeff Baxter with his high-pitched voice speaking in Spanish because he grew up in Mexico City. And I have Donald Fagen singing a beer ad. So we can do that next time. We can play that. And I can figure out the video. And we can have my friend Kyle Kalman on. And maybe some other people. Maybe we can call up Gary Katz. We can talk to them about the second arrangement. That's next time. Next time, we will listen to the beer jingle. I think that sounds fun because it's hilarious. Why not? Thank you so much. Oh my God, yes. Shout out to Brian Sweet. He did a great autobiography, and there's a few other people that we can thank. Pete Fogel does the metal leg, or did the metal leg, and he's also been a really big Steely Dan archivist. And yeah, all you who are helping with the Danaissance and making really cool shirts and writing really amazing articles and making really shitty memes. I'm having a great time. Y'all are hilarious. This stuff is cracking me up, and I'm ready to have some fun. I'm ready to share it. If you want to see it, if you want to hear it, I want to share it. I'm in my hashtag everything must go era, which is ironically the last Steely Dan album. So I'm going to sign off. Next stream, I hope won't be so chaotic. And I'll do a little more testing before I get on. We'll have some guests. We'll play the beer jingle. And we will play some more music. And I want to hear next time from you. I want to hear next time from you. Everybody who has done the deep dives on all the Steely Dan stuff. Why? What drives you? I want to hear about it. Listening to Gaucho is sound therapy. And you know what I think helps make Gaucho so amazing is the quality in which that sound is delivered. Like, it sounds delicious for your ears. So I appreciate y'all. Next time, yes, we'll get our headphones. We'll get some cervezas. I'll get a kombucha since I don't drink. And we'll have fun. Scheduled to be determined. We'll chat about it in the Discord, on the Twitter. I'm not sure what other channels, but I'll try to figure out how to get that information to y'all. Maybe next week. Maybe next weekend. Let's just do it next weekend. Time to be determined. So I guess follow me on YouTube. I don't know how to share that with y'all. How should I share it with y'all? Thank you so much. Oh, Wendell Sample Pack. I didn't even plug that. Yes, thank you so much, the One True Matt, for saying that. That's a whole nother thing. I know I was saying goodbye, but I totally forgot to mention the Wendell Sample Pack, and I'm even wearing my threadless Wendell tights. Yes, WendellSamplePack.com. We can talk about that next week. I would love to hear tracks that you make with the Wendell samples, which are samples my dad recorded for Gaucho and Nightfly. Like, I want to hear your funky yacht rock drum tracks. I think it's going to be great. I am so excited that my dad's friend helped us figure out how to deliver those to y'all. Because they're great samples. And in a world of AI and people sampling the Wendell Jr., we thought it was appropriate to get the real thing to you all, where you can feel the love and the human touch and the care and the miking and all the stuff that went in to get that sample. I'm so pumped about that. So WendellSamplePack.com. And we'll talk about all that next week. Time to be determined. I'll talk about it in the Dan Fans Discord and on Twitter. and we'll organize. So thanks again. Thanks for coming. As soon as I end my stream, I will upload my glorious slideshows to the second arrangement, DAT transfer, and the whole cassette. I will upload it onto YouTube. And thanks again to Expanding Dan for writing the story. We appreciate you. And thanks. I feel like I need outro music. But thanks, everybody. I'm going to do a little outro music. While I say goodbye in the chat. And hope that everybody has a wonderful weekend. And here we go. Signing off from Radio Simpsy and the Everything Must Go tour.
Should we ride along? We make it sound so easy. Got something to hide. Why? Things are different now. We want to have it all. Should we find it easy? Can't escape the need to know what the future holds. Waiting for the stars to align. 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 Looking over my shoulder. This is really new to me. Try to picture what's coming. Maybe I don't want this to be. It's feeling much closer, even if I'm afraid to see. Can't escape the need to know what the future holds. Waiting for the stars to align. Waiting for the stars to align. Waiting for the stars to align. Waiting for the stars to align.